Hello, friends. I'm happy to welcome everyone from sunny Thailand. My name is Vesta Krasnova. I am a neurography instructor of 2023, and today I'm excited to guide you through a neurotuning for the week. Thank you to everyone who is joining, who has joined the live stream, and who will watch it later. I welcome both experienced instructors, specialists, and users of neurography, as well as newcomers, those who have joined the live stream today. Today, I'm excited to guide you through a neurotuning for the week, and we will be modeling our state, opening our hearts, and tuning into love, gratitude, and an open heart. We'll follow the framework of metamodernism, which is called the content of communication. Let's not talk too much. We'll switch to the paper right away and start working. Please prepare a sheet of paper. Right now, we need a piece of paper so we can do our first practice, the actualization. 20 words in 2 minutes. Words in 2 minutes. And the theme of today's tuning is opening the heart. I'm going to write the topic 1, opening the heart. I suggest you perhaps come up with your own topic now, a little bit more. It can sound different for you however you want. But today we will be working on opening the heart, tuning into love and gratitude as you feel comfortable and gently and slowly. My topic is called opening the heart. So I'm starting the timer for 2 minutes. Please write down your topic. And we will write down all the associations that come to us on the topic of opening the heart, love, and gratitude. Everything that is coming out of your unconscious right now, all the associations, we are gathering for the actualization so we can energize our neural pathways a bit and then get ready to draw. So let's start the timer for 2 minutes and write down all the words that come to you right now. All right, please stop. We're done. And now I suggest you carefully and thoroughly count how many words you have. Count your words. I have 29 words. Count your words. Look at the quality of your words. Think about what you're starting with right now, what you're bringing into the drawing. I'm offering you a beautiful technique today, and it will be combined with the framework of metamodernism called the content of communications. You can learn more about the frameworks of metamodernism in the instructor course for those who are just joining us today and are hearing about neurography for the first time. For those who have already drawn and know how to do it, we will move through the quadrants of metamodernism, following the basic algorithm. If you're drawing for the first time, just follow my lead. And now we will prepare a sheet for neurography. I suggest you take a small sheet size today. This is an A5 sheet size, so that we have enough time to draw beautifully and effectively. You can later use your drawing as a card for the upcoming Valentine's Day, which is just 2 days away, on Lover's Day. Today, I'm choosing a red marker for drawing, and we'll get started. I wish you all a quality and beautiful drawing session today, and I want to remind you that neurography works best when we really engage in reflection. Reflection is your feedback, and it comes from 4 points of focus. These are images, our emotions, the body's response, our thoughts, meanings, and insights. If you have any conclusions or insights during the drawing process, please write them down separately on a piece of paper for your reflection, and later you can look back at how your process unfolded. So I wish you wonderful drawing. We are starting a neural construction this week focused on the opening of love, the opening of the heart, and the opening of gratitude from your heart. Safe travels on this journey. With a fine marker, we draw a vertical and a horizontal line to simply divide the sheet into 4 quadrants. We will be moving through the framework of metamodernism. The first quadrant in metamodernism, within the framework of metamodernism, is called motive. The second quadrant is called trust. The third quadrant is content. And the fourth quadrant is gratitude. And now I want to ask you, since we're talking about opening the heart, about love, about gratitude, and about the content of communication, yes, all of this fits into the framework of metamodernism. The content of communication. What state do you usually communicate with people from? What motive do you bring into communication? Do you trust the person? Do you trust yourself in this moment? Do you trust the world? What is the content of your communication? And what feeling drives you to do it? Do you feel or experience gratitude during the process while communicating? And then afterwards, when the communication is over, now immerse yourself in these states so that we can open them up well and effectively within ourselves. And now we start drawing. The first thing we need to do is draw a figure of ourselves. We are drawing a circle in the center of the sheet, and we immediately move along the circle of the neurographic line. It's a bionic line that doesn't repeat itself in every part of its movement, and we lead it to where we don't expect to see. The neurographic line brings energy into the figure of me. Feel right now how your hand is moving, what you are feeling in this moment. And when you feel it's enough, we start bringing the figure I am into the first quadrant, the quadrant called the motive of the neuroline, from the figure I am. And we bring in the first neuroline here. We bring in the second neuroline. We fill the first quadrant with a neuroline. The first quadrant here is about the motive. So let's ask ourselves a question. What motive do we always bring into communication? If we are full of pride and resentment, we won't be able to open our hearts or have clear communication. So we need to go to simplicity. We need to forgive ourselves. So we fill the first quadrant with neurolines of forgiveness. As Pavel Mikhailovich said, we move into this simplicity through forgiveness. Even if you don't feel guilty and there's nothing to forgive yourself or others for, there's always something to ask for forgiveness for. That's what Pavel Mikhailovich said, and I completely agree with him. We very carefully fill the first quadrant with neurolines and precisely connect them without any delay. We make connections to link all the meanings, rounding off all the intersections. Go through all the intersections right away. Add lines until you feel it's enough. And right away, round off all the intersections. When you make the connections, make sure you don't have any mustaches left. During the process, you can go over the neurolines several times. Neurography is a scientific method, but at the same time, it's an art. It's aesthetics. It's beauty. Look, please. The first quadrant of forgiveness is now filled with energy, filled with neurolines. And here certain shapes are starting to emerge. You can highlight these shapes and assign them a specific meaning. Maybe it's a meaning that makes sense to you. Maybe it's a person you're asking for forgiveness from. Or maybe you just don't realize it, but the figure is asking to be expressed. You express it in this quadrant. Look, there might be another shape. In places where the neurolines intersect a lot, an additional conflict is created. And there we also draw circles to smooth out this conflict zone. Go over your shapes a few times. Fill your drawing with neurolines, fill it with energies, and connect it to reflection. What do you feel? See how your body reacts to this. If you want to add lines, go ahead and add them. And right away, make the connections. Gradually, our drawing will be filled with connections. A strong neural connection will be created. And here we either turn to the world asking for forgiveness or to a specific person, or we forgive ourselves. So here we are sending out the energy of forgiveness into the world, into the space. And gradually we move into the second quadrant, which is called trust. And the same goes for the figure of yourself. We bring neurolines into the second quadrant, trust. And in the places of intersection, in the conflict areas, we immediately make connections, a beautiful connection. Fill the second quadrant until you feel it's enough with neurolines. And let's give ourselves the chance to feel. Feel how your hand moves in the second quadrant. How's your trust in the world? How's your trust in your close ones? How's your trust in yourself these days? In my case, I find that my hand is moving more and more well and easily right now, and more confidently, which is a great relief as time goes by, and I feel more connected to myself and the world around me. I'm genuinely happy that I'm opening my heart to trust the world around me as I continue to grow and learn about myself and the world. How is it happening for you in your life, and what changes have you noticed over time in this ever-changing world that we live in? You can write your feedback in the chat. Please keep track of your reflections. We also look at where we can see the figures of resources. We start to highlight them. We do the same thing by going along the outline of the figures with the neurographic line. We connect, we create a connection. We integrate all meanings together. You can add as many shapes as you want. Add neural lines until you feel a sense of sufficiency. Each line symbolizes energy, the energy of trust that we are nurturing within ourselves right now. We open our hearts and tune into trust in the world. And when you feel a sense of sufficiency, we move into third quadrant, which is called content. The present, pure, true content. And now I have a question for you. When you've gone through forgiveness, become simple, pure, and light, freed yourself from pride and grievances, when you've moved into trust, opened your heart, and developed a basic trust in the world, what feeling will you bring into the content of communication? What will your heart open to? To love, of course, it's love. And here we start launching neural lines of love, pure love, unconditional love, from the figure of ourselves into the third quadrant. And right away, of course, we also create a connection between all our lines as we go along. You can go over the neural lines several times. Every neurographer knows that the number of lines affects the quality of the outcome. The more lines we have, the stronger the drawing is charged. And here, in the third quadrant, we release the energy of gratitude, the energy of love. We have already cleared ourselves here. We have forgiven ourselves, nurtured our empathy, and now we can clearly feel pure love, unconditional love. The same goes for us. We add as many neural lines as we need. And let's see what shapes are manifesting here right now. Let's bring these shapes to life. We go along the contour of the neurographic line and make a connection. Please don't forget about reflection and truly take a moment to consider deeply what do you truly feel at this very moment when you genuinely open your heart to pure, unconditional love. We move on, and the fourth quadrant, according to Mita Matten's framework, is gratitude. And here we have already forgiven ourselves, moved into pure trust, sending love to ourselves, to others, and to the surrounding world. And in our hearts, pure gratitude is born. We express it through the figure of ourselves. We also start bringing neurolines, symbolizing gratitude from the figure of ourselves into the fourth quadrant. We open our hearts to gratitude. We are grateful to the whole world for this life, for our bodies, for the beautiful planet Earth, for friends and loved ones. Find your meanings, what you are grateful for right now. Open yourself up to gratitude. We're doing a neurotuning session for the week, in the run-up to Valentine's Day, but this kind of tuning is relevant all the time, not just on February 14th. So take a moment to thank everyone you want to thank from a pure open heart right now. We add neurolines until we feel it's enough, and then we immediately create a connection. Take a look and see if you have enough lines. You can already move on to the shapes. If the shapes are manifesting, you bring them to life. If shapes don't manifest, you don't have to force them to. I feel like a shape is asking to come out here. And when I bring the shapes to life, it feels like I'm experiencing some kind of additional release. Pay attention to what's happening with you at the moment when you draw gratitude and thank people at that moment. What do you feel? How do you feel? What images come to mind? How does the body react? Please keep track of your reflection and insights. Let's give some constructive and detailed feedback, and we are gradually moving forward together. Please take a look at your composition. If you want to add more neural lines somewhere, you can certainly do that in a specific or additional way. And now we move on to the next stage. We are now connecting our composition with the environment. To do this, we draw neural lines from the environment to the figures. Also, by immediately connecting to other neural lines, we fill our space with social connections in a way that truly enhances our lives. We are indeed increasing the amount of love and gratitude, simplicity, and forgiveness in our lives and experiences. We are deeply connecting our entire story with the surrounding world, with the society around us, as we know it and understand it in this vast universe and beyond. Make connections right away at the points of intersection. Work until you feel it's enough, so that you have enough and satisfaction. Don't leave any empty spaces on your sheet. The more neural lines there are, the more energized your drawing is. The connection links and integrates all our meanings. Please take a look and see if you like your drawing. And we are gradually moving on to color. The stage of archetyping is what we call it in neurography when we work with color. Here, I want to tell you that archetyping is not just coloring. We work with color very consciously. I want to work with red colors as well. I take one color and realize that each color has its own characteristics, its own influence on us. And taking the red color, I will immediately fill in large areas with it. I'll start with the figure of myself. In neurography, there is a rule. We work with color and fill in 2 or more adjacent fragments. We shouldn't have a single fragment standing alone. Neurography is about connection, it's about integration. Read more. Beginners can learn about the basic algorithm in the course User at the Institute of Psychology and Creativity. Understand what it is, deeply understand what archetyping is, and you can learn about the characteristics of color in the course Neurographics Instructor at the Institute of Psychology and Creativity. We are filling large spaces with color. realizing that we now have a tool in our hand, a tool with specific characteristics that highlights certain colors and tunes us into a specific reflection. Please pay attention to what comes up when you pick up the pencil and bring in color. What emotions are coming up? Maybe when you bring in color, resistance kicks in, or on the contrary, it becomes easy and joyful, as if the world has become more colorful. Pay attention to how you're feeling. You can quickly jot down notes on your papers for reflection. We continue on. And we bring in colors in large areas, in big fragments, as if we have a spotlight in our hand and we're illuminating certain areas. You will have one more step called Stylization, where you can work with the neurographic drawing as a piece of art, as a creative object, adding effects of light and shadow. At the archetyping stage, we have a different task. Here we work specifically with color as a tool, with the tool that gives us certain states, specific emotions, and certain bodily experiences. There can also be different techniques for bringing in color. It can be hatching, or it can be a smooth application of color. Right now, our task is just to feel how the color spreads across our drawing, how it enhances our drawing, how it boosts our state, how it tunes us in, and how it helps us open our hearts. Feel it. Bring in the color. Pay attention to how you feel about the drawing. I want to change the color now, so I'm taking a different one. We're slowly and steadily filling in with a vibrant and passionate red, which is the universally recognized fiery color of love, especially with the romantic holiday Valentine's Day coming up on February 14th. As we eagerly anticipate the arrival of this special day, this color is indeed very relevant right now, currently. Activate the energy of love and thankfulness and appreciation within your being using the energy of color. You can emphasize and highlight the various shapes and forms. You can also use color to emphasize the important and significant fragments for you, or the parts or areas where your body reacts in a certain manner. I want to highlight my shapes right now. I'm tracking for myself, realizing that right now I've brought in a lot of color into gratitude, into the quadrant of forgiveness, and to the quadrant of trust. And the quadrant of love is just starting to fill up for me. I'm asking, what is this for me? It's really interesting to observe. I'm taking a different color. You can also change colors. You can work with completely different colors, not just red. Red is what I'm using in my case, but you might have completely different colors. Neurographics is an abstraction, so we work with color as our highest level of archetypes. Already the color of archetyping tells us. Please keep track of what you have at the moment of adding color. This is a very important and significant moment, and color is used here as a tool and powerful in this context. Gradually, slowly, and surely, our painting is transformed into something more. It becomes truly charged. It becomes undeniably a creative object, beautiful and aesthetic. The important criteria in neurographics is that you like your drawing. You can always bring any of your drawings to a wow effect at the styling stage. Right now, we are just adding color to create a mood, modeling our mood with color at the architectural stage. I'm adding another color. I want to add a bit of a cool shade here. When working on a project, you might want to leave some sections white. This can be achieved by assigning the color white to those areas, keeping them neutral. This approach is often used in design and art to create contrast or highlight specific parts. Let's continue our progress and focus on completing the project. As we move forward, we'll fill in the sections that need color, ensuring every detail is attended to with precision. We're filling in large areas. Then we can start adding light, shadows, and artistic elements during the stylization stage. Gradually, your skill will strengthen and grow. With regular drawing, you'll gradually find that you really become an artist. And you'll get what's called getting into the flow in neurography. There's a term to get into the flow used by neurography instructors. When you draw a lot, and very often in the instructor's course, the workload is heavy, with drawings almost every day. And people who start with zero drawing skills gradually become professional artists. And yes, that's also possible. You can later join the Artists Union, get certified, and become a neuroart artist at the Institute of Psychology and Creativity. Well, you can specifically learn about color in the neurography instructor course on neurocolor. Pay attention to your reflection on how you feel when you add color, and consider carefully the impact. I want to add more brightness. For some reason, I feel like drawing with strokes. There are also different techniques for adding in. Pay attention to how you feel. Open your heart. Look at which quadrant you're drawing in right now, and what's happening with your body at this moment. Maybe some thoughts. Catch yourself, pay attention, learn to monitor your reflection. Gradually, we understand that we are alive, we are aware, we are capable of feeling, and we can recognize our feelings. Our body is alive and vibrant, full of energy, potential, and vitality. It can give love, express gratitude, and show compassion, kindness, empathy, and understanding. Gradually, we are finishing up the stage of archetyping, which is a crucial, transformative, and enlightening phase in our development, helping us to grow and evolve. Look, maybe you'll want to add some colors somewhere to enhance the beauty, richness, and depth of the scene, making it more vivid and captivating. If you don't have time, you'll always have time to finish up. But we're moving on. I'll leave these 2 fragments. And even 3 here. I want these fragments to be in white. I want a bit of air. The only thing I want to enhance here is this circle. I want it to stand out more. I'm highlighting it to express gratitude to the circle. I'm hiding my heart in gratitude. We have a neurotuning for the week. We are tuning into the energy of love, gratitude, and forgiveness. And even if you don't feel guilty, there's always something to apologize for. That's what Pavel Mikhailovich said, and I completely agree with him. Forgiveness means simplicity, a return to purity and simplicity. Also trust in the world and trust in yourself first and foremost. Just like that. That's enough for me. And then during the styling, I might add something else. And now we have the next stage. We're following the basic algorithm together. This is the introduction, the neural lines of the field. And this moment is actually very important and serious because here we meet the energy of the absolute. The energy of the absolute. Thick neural lines that live their own life. They go all over the sheet. Here, I suggest not to draw the neural lines from top to bottom so that whole pattern can be infused, can penetrate. It penetrated, yes. Each neural line has its own absolutely unique pattern, just like the neural line, the line of the absolute, and the line of the field. They either follow an existing line, or they start moving along an existing one and then begin to lead their own independent life, or they might just start off on their own from the very beginning. Here, trust your body, trust your hand. Take a thick marker now. If you don't have a thick marker, you can use a thin one, but then you'll need to go over it a few times to thicken the line of the field. And so we begin. Let's draw the neural line. We draw the neural lines, the field, the lines, the field, the lines. Being fully aware of the importance. Pay attention to your feelings right away when you do this. What happens when you bring such a thick, noticeable line into your drawing? What it brings out in you. You can have several of these lines. From 2 to 5 is considered normal. Pay attention to your feelings, how it feels for you. However you feel like, how many neural lines do you want to bring in? Absolutely. Neural line of the field. Of course, you'll ultimately need to establish connections for everything later in such a way that you get the feeling that the lines of the field are seamlessly integrated into your drawing. How do we do this? We also carefully take a thinner marker and start the careful process of connecting all the intersections where our field lines crossed with other lines and shapes. Carefully and precisely. In these places, we make the connections, we smooth them out. It's like we're smoothing out the lines and intersections, and gradually we create the effect of integrating the field lines into our drawing. It's like the energy has flowed. Take a look at what you have. How do you feel? Please feel free to share your feedback and any suggestions in the chat. What are you feeling right now? How do you feel at this moment? We are connecting all the intersections carefully. Feel free to draw as many field lines as you want, without any limitations, until you feel it's enough. And pay careful attention to how your hand moves, what ideas, thoughts, and reflections come to you at that moment when you literally channel the energy of the Absolute through your hand, through your marker, and musings. You take on this responsibility when such a thick, powerful energy, a thick neuroline flows through your entire drawing. Now take a look at your work, and we just need to create the fixation figure. We're also going to create the fixation figure. Thick line. I suggest we draw the fixation figure today, the shape of a heart. So we have this kind of art together, and here we are creating this heart in a very detailed manner and highlighting it step by step. Let's also carefully and meticulously trace the outline of the heart with the neurolines, with great precision to ensure accuracy. This is the figure of our fixation. Today, just a reminder, we're doing a neurotuning for the week. Let's open our hearts. Let's open our hearts to love and gratitude. We're modeling a mood within ourselves. We're modeling well-being within ourselves. We're modeling a wonderful communication with the world, a basic trust in the world. You can make the fixation figure even thicker. The thickness of the line can even be thicker than the field line. And of course, remember that we definitely need to go through all the intersections, such as in order to ensure that all necessary details are carefully considered and addressed appropriately in your drawing as you proceed with the task. Please take a look at your drawing. Take a look at your fixation figure. How do you like it? Do you like it? You can always make adjustments. You can always add neurolines. And we definitely do the same in conjunction with all the intersections. You can now go over the fixation figure, tracing the outline of all the lines and write in, draw in, integrate all the meanings. We're doing a neurotuning, opening our hearts. We're drawing in, writing in, and integrating the fixation figure, our open heart. And we capture the whole result with an open heart. Feel in this moment. Don't forget about your reflection, about your feedback. Feedback on 4 points of attention. Keep track of yourself, learn. Pay attention to how you react to the processes that are happening with you right now. What you feel, what you think, what thoughts and emotions come up. Maybe some thoughts are coming up. Keep track of insights, you can write them down, and gradually our work transforms. We draw the figure of fixation, capturing our result with an open heart, mind, and soul. Make sure to share your works. I'm really looking forward to seeing your works. I will also share my work. We have various interesting albums on the Institute of Psychology and Creativity's channel on vContact and Telegram, with fascinating content available for viewing and exploration. Send in your works. It's always very interesting, always beautiful, always joyful. You can see so many life stories through neurographic works, and it's always something cosmic, always something incredibly beautiful, filled with individual meanings that are very important for everyone who draws. Gradually, we connect all the intersections. I remind you that when you're making connections, try to do it very smoothly and gently. Don't let mustaches come into existence so you don't inadvertently end up creating new conflicts in any way. We make all the connections with utmost care and gentleness and precision, and we watch how our drawing changes in the process. I have this feeling that my heart is really open right now. I've relaxed a lot. I had a bit of tension at first, but now I'm feeling really good. I truly feel the support of the whole world, and I'm giving it back in return. I'm grateful. I have this energy of love from my open heart, this energy of gratitude, just like you, just like you. Please take a moment to carefully examine the work you have done so far. We are getting very close to finishing everything. If you look closely, you will see that our drawing is nearly complete and ready for presentation. It's exciting to see how far we've come and how much progress has been made. We still have the stage of stylization left. And at the stage of stylization, you can add neurolines, because you can never have too many neurolines. The more neurolines there are, the better the quality. The more charged our work is, the more dimensional it becomes. And we can add neurolines, we can add some shapes during the stylization phase. So, I just took a fine marker, and I want to add a few really thin lines to make the work more voluminous and dimensional. You can add colors, you can work more artistically with your piece, bringing in effects like color shadows, for example, doing some blending. So you can spend quite a bit of time at the stylization stage getting your work to that wow effect, so that when you look at your piece, it feels really beautiful. We're gradually wrapping up. We have just a little bit of time left. Try now to add some thin lines and see how it feels when you incorporate those thin lines. For those who are drawing for the first time, you can just add, if you don't have a fine marker, you can use a regular marker. You can add more neurolines to make them more elegant and thinner. But I really recommend you get a set of markers in different thicknesses, because in neurography, we actively use fine, medium, and thick markers, as well as highlighters. All of this helps us create beautiful multidimensional work. So today, we are wrapping up our neuro setup for the week. By the way, on February 14th, we will have an art intensive at the Institute of Creative Psychology called The Territory of Love, which starts on Valentine's Day and will continue until March. So I invite you to join us there too. But for now, take a look at your work. I just want to dive into it. It's so beautiful, and I feel drawn to keep adding more and more lines, just like you. However, time is passing, and we are getting close to wrapping up. Please take a moment to look at your work and notice what feelings and emotions it brings up for you and how your body responds to it. Take a look and see if you like your work. And this is the finished postcard. Keep in mind, you can give it to your loved one on Valentine's Day. And this is truly a very precious gift, an open gift from a pure heart. You've put a lot of meaning into this. You've opened up and you've embraced simplicity through forgiveness and repentance. There's a word, repentance. We have forgiven ourselves, the whole world, and other people. We went into trust in the world, trust in ourselves, trust in other people, and trust in a specific person. We opened our hearts to love and the essence of our communication. This is unconditional love. And of course, we arrived at pure gratitude. Gratitude is divine energy. So we are wrapping up our work. You can also do some more drawing during the styling phase. As you feel about your finished works, please send them in. Post them in albums. I'm really curious to see them. So I'm turning back to you, and we don't have the guys yet. We have the topic 2.0. I completely forgot. Let's write down the actualization for topic 2.0 on this high note, and we won't change the topic today. Topic 2.0 will remain the same for us. The topic you wrote about at the beginning was opening the heart. Here, the topic 2.0 will also be called opening the heart. That's what I'm writing. Topic 2.0, opening the heart. I'm also going to set a timer for 2 minutes, and our task is to write down all the words that are coming out of our unconscious right now. Everything that comes to mind, everything that we pick up from the field, maybe some signs you have, the space, everything that comes to you. We'll be writing it down for 2 minutes. Please, I'm starting the 2-minute timer. Write down everything you want. The words can repeat, like in the first topic, or they can be completely different. All right, get ready, let's start. All right, stop for a brief moment. We are in the process of finishing up. All right, that is really good. Count the number of your words. "29 words, just like at the beginning. And I see that I had 29 words at the beginning. And the words are roughly similar in content, but there are also new ones, right? The effects of communication. Look at the quality of your words. What has changed for you after you worked on this? After you tuned in? For a whole week? After you did the neurotuning? I believe that you will continue to tune in like this, because an open heart is, of course, a very happy life. State of being full of love. We are modeling our reality, such a way that it revolves around love and gratitude. I'm turning back to you, and we'll chat a little more before saying goodbye. I'm back. Hello, I'm back with you once again. With that, I suggest we wrap up our neurotuning. Thank you to everyone who joined the broadcast today. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Vesta Krasnova. I'm a neurography instructor for 2023. Today, I conducted a neurotuning session for you for the week. Thank you, and with that, we will be wrapping up.